everybody, welcome. My name is Alita Norris. I'm a co-founder and principal at Living as a Leader, and it is my pleasure to introduce the speaker that you are going to be spending time with, Rosario Sanchez-Ledesma, who is the co-founder and principal of LIFECAMP. And she is a new friend to me. I met her earlier this morning, and what I can tell you is that you are in very good hands. And as a fellow developer of talent and skills of individuals, I know that the words and the concepts that Rosario is going to be equipping you with today, emotional intelligence, positive intelligence, mental wellness, these things really matter. And what I want to share with you from my experience before I turn you over to her is that I've been developing leaders for over 30 years. And what I know is that employees join companies and they leave bosses. And the reason they leave bosses is because these people are not mentally fit and they are not caring for their people. Dr. Farr talked about self-awareness and awareness of others. And I know Rosario is going to talk about that as well. One of the greatest contributions that any of us can make is to be aware of who we are and how we show up and how we affect others. And I always ask the question to the people that I work with, do you want to be a day maker or do you want to be a day breaker? And I'm a real fan of day makers because there's a heck of a lot of day breakers in the world. So I know you're in a place where you are going to walk away with some wonderful nuggets. And Rosario, I give your people to you.
Wow, well, thank you.
Have fun.
Thank you. Well, let's hear it for Alita with that nice introduction. So, thank you for coming this morning to this presentation. And you're probably wondering, so what is Future Fit anyway? And we will dive in. And first, let me just share with you, as the co-founder at LIFECAMP, one of the things that we stand for is creating a more loving world. Our mission, and how do we do that, right? Let me tell you how. We stand for educating, inspiring, and motivating people for leadership and service. So when we're working with clients, and our clients come to us, individuals and organizations, to help build cohesion and communication on their teams. And oftentimes, across the scope of things, people say, how can I build confidence? How do I decrease worry? How do I increase performance on my teams? And these are really important elements. You heard this morning in the shop, I think, I'm trying to remember which one of the speakers, I think it was Nina, she talked about the black hole of anxiety and despair and these places that we fall into when negative conversations take a hold of us. So today I want to invite you to come into this space with a smile, with some energy, with an open mind, and to just have a conversation with me today. This is a really meaty topic. It's a very attractive topic, and it is a relevant topic. It's a big one though, and today you're going to get just a little tiny taste of it, the 50,000 square foot view. If you can imagine, for the chocolate lovers in the house, a little chocolate Hershey's Kiss in my hand, it's a little baby kiss for you about what positive intelligence is all about. So with me today I have Avis Mosby-Weber, who is my human clicker, because my clicker took a little dive. And you know what happens when life throws you a curveball? You activate your sage power, which you're going to hear about more today, and you roll with it. So here we go. So when I go like this, my human clicker is going to click. You got a little inside scoop. All right, so this work is based on a New York Times bestseller, and the book is called Positive Intelligence by Shirzad Chamine. I actually brought a copy of it to me just so you can see it, because this may be of interest to you today. You can see mine is all dog-eared. But this body of work has been called life-changing. It's been around for over 10 years, and I'll tell you a little bit more as we go here. Its whole focus is rooted in mental fitness. Mental fitness and positive intelligence are at the heart and at the intersection of emotional intelligence, which is EQ. Anyone hear emotional intelligence before here today? Yeah. And IQ. Who's heard of IQ? Probably everybody, right? All right. So positive intelligence we call PQ. And PQ is at the intersection of emotional intelligence, EQ, and intellectual IQ, intelligence quotient, so IQ. We're standing right at the middle. People say, well, what is this mental fitness about anyway? Think about it like this. If mental fitness were a technology, in fact, it is a technology, and technology is supposed to make you more efficient, more effective in your role at work and in your role at home. People tend to focus more on, they get this for the work that they're doing at home. Work is important, but I'll tell you in my experience working with positive intelligence, people anchor into how does this matter for the people I love in my home environment, whether it's a spouse, a partner, a child. These are life skills that anchor into creating a real difference for how we show up in the world. So what is it anyway? Mental fitness is defined as your capacity to shift, to be able to handle life's challenges with a positive outlook instead of getting worried or upset when life throws you a curveball. It's shown that mental fitness can impact 3 areas, and you can see them there: peak performance, wellness, and relationships. And today, if you've come into this room, your curiosity was piqued, right? Like, what is this? What am I going to leave with? Our objective today is to have some fun learning about 2 things. Saboteurs. These are the saboteurs that just paralyze us in our tracks. Like, this is that voice of like, ooh, I'm not enough, or I'm not worthy, or, I'm just not sure enough about something. The not enough conversation is the saboteur. So we're going to just start to touch on what the saboteurs are for you. You're going to leave today knowing which one is your top saboteur. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn and begin to learn, just begin, how to quiet those voices. And lastly, how to put into operation your own mental operating system. The good news is that it's already operating. You're just going to be more aware of it as you leave today. All right, so my job is to show you that this is credible work. Positive intelligence is rooted in 4 sciences: positive psychology, neuroscience, performance science, and which one did I miss? Cognitive psychology. Next one. So all of these foundations filter up to create what is called positive intelligence. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a lecturette here for just a few minutes. This is just setting some context so then we can have a conversation about this, and then the heavy lifting kind of goes over to you. It'll be a little ping pong back and forth, all right? Because I'm not going to be talking at you this whole time. So the research includes work with hundreds of CEOs and their executive teams, Stanford students, world-class athletes, and over 500,000 participants in over 50 countries. And the book has been translated into over 20 languages. The work of factor analysis is used here, so we know that 3 colors, the yellow, blue, and red, can be used to create thousands of colors. And the same holds true for mental fitness. We know that there are only 3 core muscles at the root of how we think and how we respond to challenges. Those 3 are listed here: the saboteur interceptor, the sage, and the self-command. Now, I invite you to just let this information just kind of, don't feel like you need to memorize anything, okay? It's just some context. We have 10 saboteurs and we have 5 sages. here's your turn. We're going to take a moment here to find out what your saboteurs are. If you would, pull out your phones, and I'm going to invite you to go to this website. You would do positiveintelligence.com, and you know there's a, make sure that you're at the right one. It'll say assessment after it, positiveintelligence.com, because there's another business out there somewhere that started like something similar, but you want to go to this website here, and it'll take you to the right one. It's going to invite you to take a saboteur assessment. Yeah, and just take your time. You have plenty of time. This will be what we'll focus on. If anyone needs help, please raise your hand and I'll come over. Okay, I see we're at different places of completion across the room. So what I'd like to do is just give one more minute for finalizing. If you haven't been able to finish the assessment, it's okay, you can take it at another time. If you got your results, this is good. And if you haven't gotten your results, it's okay. I'm going to walk you through this judge saboteur and a couple of the others, and you're going to start to notice some resonance for the ones that stick out for you, okay? So let's keep going, and we'll see where we're at now. Okay, so I was just curious, for those of you who were able to get your results, I'm curious if you'd be willing to share what your top saboteur was. And let me start myself. There's this series of 10 saboteurs, right? One is the master judge, and then there's 9 accomplice saboteurs. The top one for me is the stickler, and the stickler kind of goes toward perfectionism. So it brings out this voice of like, hey, it has to be perfect, or it's just not good enough. Does anyone resonate with that saboteur in the house? Okay, yeah, that's a very popular one. Anyone else want to share what their top one was if you got your results? Anyone willing to go there? There was great vulnerability this morning in this session, wasn't there, around the costs of what you do? Anyone willing to share here?
Mine was the same as yours, so.
We're in good company, all right. Thank you, Monica. Yes?
I unfortunately got pleaser.
Okay, pleaser, all right. So we have stickler, pleaser. Let's go for one more. Who would offer one more? Yes, back there.
Hypervigilant?
Hypervigilant, yes. Oh, you too? Okay, hypervigilant, yes. Good friends over here. My next one down is hypervigilant. So, yeah. All right, so let's take a look at what's here. Let's see here. One more. So let me tell you a little bit about these guys. Now, there's a judge. We all have this judge saboteur. Everyone walking around on the planet with a pulse has the judge saboteur and some form of the 9 accomplice saboteurs. Now, these saboteurs were originally part of the survival function for us. They helped us when we were children, but as we get older, they take our strength and use it and abuse it against us. I'll tell you more about that. The judge, in particular, is called the master saboteur. The judge will judge you, will judge others, and will judge circumstance. It shows up for everybody in a real different kind of way, but it's important for you to think about how does it show up for you, for the self, so that you can respond differently when it does. So here's this cast of 9 characters that you will see on your results. These will wreak havoc on us, and you can see that they range all the way from the controller, hyperachiever, restless, stickler, pleaser, hypervigilant, avoider, victim, and hyper-rational. They are very much as their names indicate. I don't want to go too deep into them right now because, like I said, it's the 50,000 square foot view, and just be aware that these are these guys. Let's go. Here are some results. These are real results for Sarah, who is the CEO of a company, and Sarah has the stickler, the hyperachiever, and the restless. So when you see your results, all of this, the responses that you answered in the assessment, they're designed to help your top accomplice saboteur come up to the top. So you can see hers is the stickler, so she's in good company. She's tending toward perfectionism when that saboteur takes her top strength and starts to over-rotate it, starts to use it and abuse it against her. And this happens for all of us. We all have one of these paradigms or more operating and running in our minds constantly. The idea is how to intercept it so we can quiet that voice. There are 10 saboteurs. They motivate us through negative emotions. Now, the negative emotions are fear, stress, anger, guilt, shame, insecurity. And there are 5 sage powers. The 5 sage powers are way stronger than the 10 saboteurs when you are in control of your strength and your gift. They will motivate us through positive emotions like empathy, curiosity, passion, and purpose. The 10 saboteurs, they might generate success, but never happiness. People will say to me, oh, but I need my stickler. I need it to drive perfection and really solid results. You can use that, but remember that it will also generate these feelings of unhappiness. Over here, on the other hand, if you activate your sage and you come from that place of sage power, of your strength, you will generate your highest success and your sustained happiness. It's just a better place to be. This morning you heard some of the ladies on the panel talking about these gifts that came out of COVID and a conscious choice that they made after they had a minute to step aside and say, okay, what's good about this situation? That's a very sage response, and we'll learn more about that. So what do you think? Are negative emotions good for you? What would you say? Just given what you've learned already this morning, are they good for you? Yeah?
Yes,
Okay, well, why would you say yes?
because they push you and force you and help you see that something's not aligned so that you can make a new choice.
Beautiful. So she said they push you, they force you to see that things aren't aligned. Absolutely. So, what about this? Is pain good for you? Yeah. Heads are nodding, yes. Here's what we know. The data tells you pain is good for 1 second. A hot stove, you get that hand off the hot stove. And this is what the invitation is this morning. For you as women leading businesses, leading your jobs, leading your lives, families, whenever that negative voice shows up, know that there is a saboteur present. And the idea with pain and the hot stove is to understand and recognize that it could be a saboteur. Now, I'm not talking about toxic positivity here either, because this is a topic lately where you put on your Pollyanna glasses and like everything's good. It's not that. It's honoring what you feel, absolutely. For example, with grief, you're not going to say, I just lost somebody and I'm going to not acknowledge that. It's not that. It's that other space where you're standing and all of a sudden you feel like nervous or you feel like you're worried about something, and that is the presence of a saboteur. So what is it that you're worrying about? What is it that makes you feel not confident if you have to do a big presentation or make a really big decision that has high stakes and it makes you it shakes your confidence? That's what we're talking about. All right, so here's your turn. Some of you have already seen your results, and what I want you to do is just take a moment. And our time here goes so fast, right? We started a few minutes after our start time. We were getting folks in the room. But I want to just give you 2 minutes to just meet the people in your section. And I think what I want to do is do like groups of 4, in this case 3. Lynn, maybe if you can pair with them. And then these 2 young ladies, if you can turn and work back here with your friends in the back. Just like that, find these small groups of 4. And I'd like you to just share what is the lie? What is the lie that shows up that this saboteur is telling you? So whether you have the stickler, whether it's the controller, whether it's the hypervigilant, what is it that your saboteur tells you? Okay? Now I'm about to do the impossible because I'm about to put like almost 60 women to talk, and I'm gonna have to bring you back in the 2 minutes. This is doable. But we're gonna try because I want you to have some fun exploring a little bit more about you. All right, so maybe over here, over there. be mindful of the time because we've got like two or 3 minutes to go here. But I want to say, these saboteurs, okay, I made my way around the room a little bit and I heard some of the discussions. Boy, they are trying to trick us, right? They are trying to trick us. These saboteurs are taking our gift. So the hypervigilant, the gift of the hypervigilant, your gift is that you are caring and compassionate. That is a gift. The saboteur takes that gift and uses it against you, okay? So you start to worry about the well-being of everyone, your kids, your coworkers, your pets. I mean, you can fill in the blank about what you worry about. The list is probably long. I have that saboteur, by the way. So the trick here, and let me tell you, we just had an amazing conversation back here. That saboteur is so strong, it's going to try to keep you in the belief that it's helping you out, when in fact, it's creating a lot of negative emotion. That's a common experience for all of the saboteurs, whether you have controller, whether you have hyper-rational. Did anyone have hyper-rational in here, by the way? Okay. The hyper-rational takes your gift of analysis, analytics, quantitative processing, and it uses it against you. So how does the hyper-rational show up when the saboteur has taken over? It can show up as calculating, as robotic, yeah? And that's not who we are, right? That is not who we are. We are the gift. And so the question back there was, well, how do I shift? How do I get that gift in check? And how do I use that without that saboteur driving me crazy? Wow, that is an 8-week program right there. But let me see what I have next here. I'm going to come into Sage for just a minute. Come on in here. Because I don't want you to leave with this. I don't want you to leave going, oh my God, I have the controller saboteur. Oh, I have the hypervigilant. Oh, what did you have then? What was yours?
My highest one was hyperachiever.
Hyperachiever. Ooh, any hyperachievers in the room? Yeah, that's a popular one. Do you know that our country, as a nation, has a strong hyperachiever profile? Isn't that how we're raised, right? Do really well in school, go get the job, boom, 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 drive. And that hyperachiever, which is another one of my top ones. So I have the stickler, the hyperachiever, and the hypervigilant. Okay, so that one is linked with, we perform for love. When we were little kids, we got affirmation. Like, you did really well, Rosario. Oh, let me do it again. And pretty soon, I'm just over-rotating, and that hyperachiever is working against me. All right, let's take a look at what the sage perspective, where is the sage? It lives in the right region of the brain, totally different form of being than the saboteurs. It is about peace. It is about calm. It is about focus. It is about presence. It is about what you bring when you are in your best space with your gifts. You can access it at any time, and it operates from the sage perspective. The sage perspective is that everything can be turned into a gift or opportunity. You heard how the pandemic was turned into a gift or opportunity earlier today. This is perhaps a difficult one for some people to wrap their mind around, because you say, hey, my dog died. How is that a gift? That's painful. This is true. Your ability to be able to convert things into gifts and opportunity depends on the strength of your mental fitness muscles. Okay? So I'm going to pause there because I'm aware that we are at time. Oh, no, I'm not going to pause there. I need to show you one more thing. I need to show you these sage. Keep going, Davis, one more. One more. I'm just going to keep flipping right here because I want to take everybody to the sage. One more. One more. Bypass that. One more. Okay. Here. So there are five sage powers. I said this was going to be a little Hershey's Kiss. It's the top of the experience. And the PQ rep is the thing that builds mental fitness in us. And rather than tell you what it is, I want you to just experience it for a moment. moment, and it is about activating your senses. So when you are really, really stressed, I assure you there is a saboteur present, and all you want to do is find 2 fingertips, rub those together. Okay. Just take a deep breath in and out. Yeah. And just notice what's happening in your body. I'm holding the mic, but if you do it with 2 fingertips, you automatically drop into your senses. Now, if you're really stressed and you're in a meeting, you don't want to bring out your fingertips and go like this. So, you know what you could do? You could just, find your feet, find your toes, and just take a breath and know that it's okay. And that's how you calm the saboteur. That is how you quiet that negative voice going on. This takes practice, and you get stronger as you go with time. It takes about 8 weeks, and it takes about 15 minutes a day to build your muscle. Now, I can share more information about this with you if it's calling to you and you're feeling like, yeah, I want to learn more about this. And I have cards, I think, at the back of the room and some here at the front, and I'd be happy to share more with you about how to build your mental fitness. Now, why is this future fit? You came into the room and said, what is this future fitness all about? The World Economic Forum says that the essential skills for 21st century leaders include emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is self-awareness and self-management. So once you know what's going on for you, how do you manage it? And mental fitness is a tool that we teach to help you manage those saboteurs and step into your sage powers to be the best you. Okay? All right. With that, I see that Kate is in the room. Are we at time? Almost. Okay. So, the sage powers, very quickly, there's 5 of them. It is, Amos, can you go to the next slide? I think I have them listed when you get to the sage ones. Yep. Yeah, go back one. Go back to that one slide. It's okay. We don't need to see the slides. Today was not a good slide day. But they are just this. So there's empathy. Empathy is a sage power that all of us can activate. This is the love for the self. This is giving yourself grace and giving other people grace in your life. Okay? The hypervigilant and some of the other saboteurs, we will beat the people up who are around us. The controller, when the controller is in charge, it runs people over and it doesn't listen to what's in front of it. So empathy, giving yourself some grace. Second sage power is innovate. Innovate is all about the love for possibilities. So when you're stuck and you need to brainstorm on something, instead of stepping into a space of perfection or limited thinking, you can activate the sage power of saying, what's possible here? And have fun with it, play with it. You can play with your saboteurs, by the way. Like today, the technology wasn't working in the room, and then this beautiful errand showed up and everything was perfect. But before that, I was just like, oh great, it's not working. And then I said, there was that voice, like, oh, there it is, right? And I said, what took you so long? I thought you were gonna be here about 30 seconds ago, right? So you can have fun and play with your saboteur, or just, it's coming at you, just step aside and let it go by. Or, hey, there you are. I don't have time for you right now, so get on your little horse and mosey on out of town. Right? So once you know it, and you will always know it now, you leave this room today knowing that it's there and that you can command it to go away. Okay? So I talked about empathy, innovate, explore is the love for discovery. Navigate is the love for purpose and meaning. That's another sage power. And this one drives that calling that we have for connection. And the last one is activate, one of my favorite ones. It is getting things done. Clear, laser-focused action. So when you see that saboteur stepping in, you can, hey, have a cup of coffee over there because I'm too busy. What's that one thing? I don't have time for that. But what you do have time for is to lock in and say, I can choose something different for myself. What I want you to leave here with today is this. this was the 50,000 square foot view. You're leaving and you know what your saboteurs are now. You have those results sitting in your inbox. The focus, though, is on your greatness. I want you to leave today with the awareness that you are developing an essential life skill every time you check in with yourself and every time you show some empathy for yourself. You are being essential and you are being the leader that's needed in the future when you take time to be with you and understand how great you are, how good you are, and tell those saboteurs to just calm down. Shut up, stay awake, whatever you want to do to make me go away, okay? So that's the message for you today. So with that, thank you very much. You were a great audience.